as we enter this period of guided meditation, I invite you to enter it with attitude of generosity. It can look like treating this practice as a gift. A gift to yourself, a gift to all beings, human and more than human. A gift to our Mother Nature, a gift to this planet. So this practice can be our offering. We are offering our time, our attention, our body, heart and mind. As opposed to wanting to achieve something or wanting to fix something, we are offering ourselves this free time, our free time, our attention. Does anything change in terms of your attitude? If you enter practice this way? So we are reframing. What can I get out of this practice? To what can I offer to this practice? Allowing the body to breathe with life. And cultivating sense of receptivity and openness. Where the experience, the unfolding experience is welcome. body sitting, or perhaps it's lying down or standing. This body breathing this breath. Can this breath be experienced as a gift? And then this one. And this experience of the body being here, breathing, be enough. So when you notice mind thinking, perhaps striving, so remembering the body, a live body, breathing this breath as a gift, freely given. This breath. So remembering your attention, noticing how is it engaged, and returning. This body sitting or lying down, standing and breathing this breath. Can this be experienced in its fullness? As a gift, this breath and this one. attention and returning this moment, this body, breathing. Remembering and returning. This breathing body, this alive breathing body. Mind and heart engaged in a noble cultivation. And this breath as a gift. Is it possible to recognize, to feel, experience the moments of fullness where nothing is missing, sense of enoughness? And then moments where chitta, heart, mind, looks for something that's missing. Strives for something that's supposed to be happening, should be happening. striving is noticed, resistance is noticed, any sense of fighting for this is noticed. See if it's helpful to set intention we started with. This practice is an offering, it's a gift to ourselves, all beings. Mother Earth. The bell will ring shortly. But while we are still in deep contemplation, I would like to offer a few questions for us to ponder, to contemplate. What is wealth? What is noble wealth? What is wealth? What is noble wealth? What does it feel like when a sense of having more than enough is present? What does it feel like when a sense of having more than enough is present? So welcome, welcome, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your practice, your time, and I would like to also thank all these people who work on behalf of Sacred Mountain Sanga in the background. I was acknowledging them when I was logging in. So all the board members, committee members, all the people who manage our social media, including YouTube, just a lot of gratitude to all of them. So today I would like to contemplate a folk tale called Handless Maiden. And I didn't offer it, I didn't send it out, so you probably didn't receive it unless you already know the tale. Because I would like to offer a version that comes from my culture, Slavic, specifically Slovak version, and all I found was the Grimm's version, and it's a little different. And I would like to focus specifically on a few parts of the tale and just weave it in the practice of generosity. It's something I have been contemplating for the last couple of months. So, our story begins in a small Slovak village. It's in the middle of nature. There is a small river. Is the volume okay? Yes, it's better for me to not have headset. So the village is in the middle of nature. It's part of nature. There is a small river that flows through the village. There are fields, forests. The village is, in a way, self-sustaining. There is a miller, there is a blacksmith, there are people who grow wheat, there are people who grow potatoes and some vegetables, there are people who make clothing. In my country back then it was really all linen. There is a beekeeper, and everyone is making living doing honest manual labor, and there is already money in the form of gold coins, but there is also a lot of exchange going on. So everyone is taken care of, everyone is having enough, and there is this deep sense of interdependence. Oh, I forgot to mention a big part of my culture. There is shepherds, and mostly in my country back then it was herds of sheep that shepherds were tending to, and then making this wonderful, very specific Slovak cheeses from it. So anyway, everything is self-sufficient and everyone is having enough to live off, and there is a lot of exchange, and there is this deep dependency on nature and honoring the relationship that the village has with the nature. So we'll go to the miller because he's one of the main characters of the story. So there is a miller and his wife, and they have a daughter, young daughter. She's about 17 when the story starts. And so the miller uses a donkey or a horse or his own manual labor to turn the mill. So you can imagine it's quite a lot of work every day. And so at some point in the story, in Slovak version, it's devil, but we as a Dharma practitioner, we can consider Mara, who shows up and says to the miller, for a fee, I will make sure that you will work less, and yet there will be more reward. So Miller is really intrigued. What? Work less and have more reward? Surely nothing can be wrong with that proposition. So he says, okay, what's the fee? And the devil or Mara says, that what is standing behind the mill. So in Miller's mind, it's an old tree. So he goes like, I can't believe I'm getting such a deal. Yeah, sure. So what happens that devil or Mara connects the mill to the river. And so mill is now running on its own. So not only the miller doesn't have to manually turn the wheel, the mill runs pretty much all the time. So now he and his wife have a lot more time, and they begin to accumulate riches. They begin to have more than enough, so now they have servants. And this continues until one day when Mara or devil shows up and says, I am here to claim what was promised to me. So the miller goes with the devil or Mara behind the mill, and he's surprised because he sees his young daughter standing there. By this time she's about 18. So he is shocked that that is what devil or Mara wanted, and yet because of everything he has been benefiting from, he's not willing to even negotiate a new deal. So what the Mara or devil does in this particular fairy tale, it cuts hands. So daughter loses her hands, and in one version the hands become wooden. And he carries the hands away. I love this image. As in every myth or folk tale, the story is meant to represent the inner dynamics, but also the outer, the communal, societal. More on that later. Just I'll say one more thing, and then we'll reflect. So the devil or Mara takes the hands away, and the story continues. So the mill is doing well, there is more and more riches, there is more and more time, so the miller and his wife trying to figure out what to do with their time. So they are all enjoying this. Meanwhile, there is the daughter, Maiden. She is becoming deeply, deeply unhappy. And so when she goes to the mother or to the father and says, I'm unhappy, or I'm sad, and she says, I cannot do anything, the response always is, well, you don't have to. Servants will do it for you. And this continues for a while. And the unhappiness, her unhappiness is increasing. And so there are days where she just cries from sadness. And every time she gets the same response. When she asks, well, I want to do something, I cannot do anything. I'm just giving you the story, right? So there's so much in this. So the last thing I'll say, at some point, what she does, she leaves the mill and goes to forest. The story continues, but I'm gonna pause there because there is a lot to reflect on. So that bargain that Miller made, this is me translating from Slovak, and it's getting something for nothing. This bargain, in this case, looked like happened externally, but it happened both ways, right? So we make these bargains externally and internally. So for example, the way we make them externally, it was shocking when I moved here and I saw in stores, buy one, get one free. I never seen anything like that in my culture, never, right? Or buy one, or buy two, get the second one, or third one, 50% off, all of that. And it's not that we should never do a bargain like this, or it's always unwholesome, but there is a cost to bargain like this. Before, in my country there was communism until 89, was November 17, 1989, and I left my country was 98, right? So during that time, we never even had sales. There wasn't such a thing as a sale. This is what this costs, this is what you pay. And so when I moved here, I started wondering, all this sale everywhere, what is the true cost of this thing? To me, to others, to the planet, like what is the true cost? And so, again, it's not that we shouldn't be making the bargains, but can we make it consciously, and can we not scapegoat the cost to others or our inner life? More on that later. Another way I make this bargain is, in the morning or even when you are planning your week, and there is this, how much I can fit into one day or 1 week, and what is the cost? Oh, I won't watch sunset or sunrise. I will not go for a walk. I want to have time to practice, attend to my being in silence. What is the cost? I find it so interesting. And then this precious commodity, time. I just recently read that on average, we spend 2 hours a day on social media. I find it so shocking. So, back to making these bargains. So, sometimes when we choose to pack more into our days, and let's say there is a feeling of being tired or overworked, that's the cost that this feeling, this knowing inside of us paid the price for having something practical or doing more. Which brings me to a question that I've been sitting with. What is enough? When is it enough? This is a quote from Ajahn Sucito's beautiful book on paramis, on generosity as a state, as a mind state, heart state. Generosity is natural expression of citta that is firmly rooted in deeply, inwardly knowing the sense of sufficiency, in which all sense of lack came to the end. Just contemplate this for a moment with me, this sense of lack coming to end, or the way I ask at the end of meditation, this sense of having enough. When we go back to the village before the bargain was made, was that for the miller, that was enough? Reflecting. What is enough? When is it enough? And when we are making a bargain, unwilling to see, or sometimes we can see it, but unwilling to question or explore the true cost. What's true cost of this that I'm about to do? What is the true cost of it? To me, to the community, to the beings, more than human beings, to the planet. What's the true cost? And am I really getting a bargain, or what am I bargaining? And this all has changed in my country. We now do have buy one, get one free. Not as much, not as much. We do have sales, but mostly at the end of the season sales, but we do. And then we get confused. What is the true cost of this? Not just material things, but other commitments we make. Am I bargaining my integrity? Am I bargaining the values I have? Am I bargaining even sense of worth? What am I bargaining? And if there was this deep sense of sufficiency, how would we respond if Mara came and tempted us as she did? The miller. I find that question so helpful. Am I thinking that I'm getting something for nothing? And I, speaking from having different conditioning, it's when I moved here and saw it, I didn't believe it. I was like, there is no way, right? It was clear to me that there is no way that something can be free. I knew that, it's included in the price. But what is it in us that wants to make such a good bargain? And mostly now we are making it with technology. So, as you can tell, English is not my native language. So, for example, when I write a description for my retreat or my talk or a newsletter, before ChatGTP, it would always go to friends of mine. Can you do a grammar check? Right? And then everyone was busy, so it took like a day or two. Now I take it to GTP, and it's instant, right? I so appreciate it. But there is something I lost. It is more productive, it's more efficient. I also don't feel like I'm burdened to others, constantly asking for grammar check, right? But there is now that relationship I had, was in particular these two people, is non-existent now. I mean, there is a relationship, but there is less contact because I don't constantly ask for a grammar check. And specifically, I'm holding this question now in relationship to social media and artificial intelligence and so on. Okay, so aware of the time, we still have some time. Okay. So I want to highlight one more thing. And this is mostly from my experience and my internal experience and what I observe around me. So part of this bargain that the miller made is what I find my modern mind making often, or it's tempted to make, which is easier, faster, and often more. Just make it easier, make it faster, and more. I happen to notice this often, every day, I would say. And yet, everything is easier and faster. I read this research paper with having dishwasher, washing machine. I do not have dryer, I dry outside. But with all these appliances we have, we would need 27 servants to do this. Like, all this, I don't know what it's called, the thing that cleans the floor, all this, right? And then with no longer snail mail, no longer going to library, right? So when I contemplate, it's like, shouldn't we have more time? But do you? When everything is easier and faster, and we can do more in a day, we can. Remember growing up, for one, we didn't have a car, and we didn't even have a line phone until I was 14. So when I wanted to ask my friend if she wants to go out, I had to walk there 10-15 minutes, knock on the door, the mother sometimes opened and said, nope, she needs to study, or no, right? Or they were not home. Where did the time go? What are we bargaining? Easier, faster, more. And yet, I find it harder and harder to sit down and be on the phone with my mother for like 30 minutes. She always tells me, why you have to do something, right? I put Bluetooth in and I'm cooking or chopping or cleaning or walking my dog. Right? And as I'm saying it, you're probably hearing me. It's not like wrong. It's just like I'm trying to get out of this. So I am entering a period where, not that I'm on social media too much, but none. And just wanting to see where is the time. And when I check about the sense of sufficiency and being generous with my time, it feels like there also have to be some boundaries put around it, right? So So let's say when I do go, I only have Facebook, but when I go on, like, can I just say I'm gonna check this and it's 10 minutes, right? Just 10 minutes, that's it. And then I find myself going, well, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, and then 30 minutes is gone. So I know I'm just asking a lot of questions because I feel that's really what I love about this practice is this investigation, contemplation, that we get to find our own way. We get to use our own inner knowing and determine what is wholesome. So I leave you with this question that I use, and it has been helpful. So when we are making this bargain, we can, like with many Dharma practices, the intention is very, very important. It almost feels like the whole Dharma practice is meant to turn us into intentional beings, aware of our motivation. So as I'm making this bargain, one more episode, before going to bed, one more episode, can I be aware of my intention? What's the true cost of this? And I am in this deep sense of sufficiency, this sense of where all the sense of lack, all the sense of insufficiency came to end, which is when this parami of generosity is fully developed, when the mind heart abides there. What happens with that impulse to bargain? And where does this need to bargain come from? So far in my exploration, it does come from this sense of not having enough. Well, it's a very interesting belief because I do have enough. So I'll stop here, and I would like to, because I would like to honor our time. So I would like to close with sharing blessings, and then we'll have a time for discussion if you can stay. So you can just listen or you can join me in this practice. I know many of you know and practice this. So when we engage Dharma practice, whether it's a formal meditation or contemplating, practicing the Dhamma, a lot of goodness gets generated. And this goodness can be shared. And we can share with a particular being or beings that we feel may benefit. We can also choose to share with all beings. All beings without exception, human and more than human. May all beings benefit from our practice. May all beings be free from greed, hatred, and delusion. May all beings have safety. May all beings have ease or well-being. May all beings benefit from our practice without exception. Thank you